This is our third episode of our old-fashioned podcast. Today, we're still reading from Jericho Brown's The Tradition. We're going to talk about a poem called Trojan. I think, Prerna, you'll start.
Yeah, it starts out saying, when a hurricane sends winds far enough north to put our power out, we only think of winning the war bodies wage to prove the border between them isn't real. So when I first read this, I thought it was talking about like an actual hurricane coming from the ocean and battling with the land. But then after I continued reading, I understood that it could possibly be a romantic relationship between two intimate people.
Yeah, and sort of framing the relationship as a battle, as opposed to just saying it outright, like it gives us different imagery than we would have had if he was just talking about it straight up as a relationship.
Yeah. Because he talks about no TV, no novel, and then no recreation but each other, and neither of us willing to kill. And then I don't care that I don't love my lover. So that part really shows that it's more of a relationship between two people rather than a fight between an ocean and land.
Mm-hmm.
So.
There was the part that talked about the war bodies waged to prove the border between them isn't real, and we sort of maybe thought that border was whatever problem they were having or fight they were having in their relationship, and that neither of them wanted to acknowledge that problem was real.
Right. So basically they ended up having a problem and not considering it to be a real thing when in fact it is a real thing. And then they said everything is fine, but not everything is fine, and they're still like yelling at each other and like fighting about it.
Yeah.
And then
some other interesting imagery that comes up later is it says, candles are romantic because we understand shadows. I found interesting because it is the sort of like balance between darkness and light that makes us understand that darkness is like bad or lonely, and candles are what illuminate that and what like guide us.
Yeah. It also shows the two extremities,
Yeah.
right? So if you have pure light, then a candle doesn't show its light as much, and it doesn't have a shadow to really show that it's illuminated or lighted. And then if it's just pure darkness, then you can see the candle's light, but you cannot see its shadow. Therefore, if you have both darkness and lightness, then you can see the candle's light and the shadow behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, like you can't appreciate either one of them if only one is present. Like you don't understand. It's a relationship that only works if both of them are there.
yeah.
Do you want to talk more about the Vicuña's thing?
Yeah, so the relationship between dark and light really showed up in Vicuña's exhibit in the Henry Art Gallery. So there was this one part called La Noche de Especies. So there was this one room that I walked into when I was looking at the gallery, and in that room there was a whole bunch of it was just all black, and then there was two projectors that were showing just a dark wall with the lights, or with like the lights of the stars showing, and then after some time there was words that would appear and just rise up and rise through and go to the other side, and then there was one wall that when I entered it was completely black, and then after spending I think 5 minutes inside, there was the entire wall was covered in stars. At least it looked like stars, right, from the specks of light that I could just see. And then the other side, it was the same thing, except on both sides when it said La Noche de Especies, they were in different patterns in a way. Like one was like diagonal, and then the other one showed up to be like a U. So it was like really cool the way that.
And sort of taking that idea of framing it as like you're looking at the night sky and you're looking at stars, except the stars are letters. Sort of relates to the poem and how Jericho is framing this relationship as a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like so the words are like a guiding light in a way. So it's like telling you what is going on, what is going to happen. And he even talks about having in combat a blade and a few matches. So the matches can relate to, being the light that guides. Because he says that if he didn't have those, then he wouldn't have known where to go in little light. So that light could be what is guiding him on what kind of moves he should make, what kind of things he should say, how to, I guess, calm the hurricane.
I think that concludes our podcast, our episode today.
Yep.
Thank you for watching.